Okay, so I'm at the pyramid on a quick little break, and I have had a thought.
If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice, they told me.
I'm working towards meeting certain deadlines, making smaller goals that I can achieve that'll get me to my larger goal faster. And that has been a good mindset that's been helping me move forward. But one thing that stopped me is this weird idea or feeling of, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but some kind of way you can't move forward. So I've made countless videos, writing vlogs, and updates and whatnot. And the truth of the matter is, I have a book that is completely done. It is completely done and ready to go. But because it's part of this duet series, my fear of that is releasing that book without having the second one completely done. So it may be being a while before that book comes out. And like, what does that look like if the book comes out 1 month and then here we are 4 or 5 months later and the second book still isn't out? And I'm thinking about that. It's not a joke, but that kind of anecdote that's like, oh, I don't want to go to school to be a doctor because it'll take me 10 years and I'll be, let's say, 40 at that time. And then it's like, you'll be 40 at that time anyway, so why not be 40 and a doctor? Or insert whatever craft or whatever, because that's something that we've seen, or that I've seen a lot over the last like 10 years or so. And so I was thinking, like, let's say that I do hold off and I wait for the second book to be done. Let's say it takes me 2 more months. In those 2 months, both books are still not out. Or if I do decide to go ahead and just put out the one book that's done, then however long it takes to get out the second one is however long it takes, because it's still going to take the time, because I still have to do the work to get it done. And so I'm also thinking, like, what am I waiting for? Is it this big fanfare that I'm waiting to like have this release date and all these bells and whistles and look at this? And that sounds great now, and that's my plan. But I think that's part of what's stunting me, is that I am so focused on, let's just say June 7th is the release date. Oh, it's June 7th, so I have to do X, Y, and Z and have this ready and have these videos up and this, that, and third. And it's like, that's great. And I still would like that, but like, is it really necessary? And that's what I'm fighting with now with myself. So I think a lot of it is like, another example I can give is like, which this may be a little traumatic, but if you're a kid and you know that you want to have this big, fantastic wedding when you grow up, but then you grow and you're like, look, bills is a lot. I'd much rather have a nice, quiet wedding and then maybe throw a huge party in a couple months. Like, that's how I feel. Like, yes, in my mind, I want this big, huge, Great Gatsby style party to celebrate, but it's like, is my desire for that what's pulling me back and stopping me from growing? Because I am meeting these smaller goals and smaller deadlines, but like, at what cost? So I think what I'm going to do is probably just release the book. Like, when everything is said and done and I have all my ducks in a row, I can't say for sure that's what I'll do. So it's one of two things. Either I'm going to continue with the such and such date, making a big deal out of it, which is a big deal. It is a big deal, but making this huge deal about it and getting it out, or I'm probably going to just release it and like still do all that stuff in time. But I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. What I do know as it relates to this book is that there is a bit of fear there, and it feels silly to have it, but it's true. It's, if I'm documenting my writer's journey, this is part of it. And the thing that makes this so silly to me is not only that you don't have to be scared. It's your talent, your art form to just get it out, sure. But I've done this before. I'm no stranger to publishing, and like by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't know I don't know what this is, to be quite honest. Things have changed. There's been time between when I last did it and now. So, I mean, there's that. But to have this level of indecisiveness, fear, and then also confidence rolled up into one and kind of cycling through all of those emotions, it's kind of odd to me. I'm sitting with it. I'm accepting it for what it is, and I'm going to do my best to get a handle on it. But this is, I guess, a reminder to myself, like, to not be so worried. You've done this before, and the concerns you have are legitimate, but don't let the planning, preparation, even if I am meeting these smaller goals, be the thing that gets in your own way, that stops you or hinders you. Like, your own strength now becomes your weakness. So I don't know. We're gonna figure out what's going on. If you're a artist of any form, and you're dealing with or have dealt with, this planning and preparation, even when meeting goals, stopping you from like pulling that trigger, so to speak, let me know, because I think that's where I am, and I don't want to be in that space any longer. And so I see that it is not going to be as simple as just like getting up and doing the thing. It's going to take me actively pushing myself, telling myself, hey, motherfucker, get it done. So that's what I'm doing. Another like part of this to kind of throw in is also the actual work itself. So I think we spend so much time with our own works because it's ours, and you are your worst critic. And I'm not even necessarily critiquing my own work, but it's like, I've sat with this for so long. Like, how is it going to be received? Like, if I can get like musical for a minute, Beyonce's release of the 2 country songs, I believe either I read it in like a transcript or I saw, and time is not real, so forgive me for not knowing exactly, but Tina, her mother, was like, oh, I'm glad y'all like these, something to this effect. I'm glad y'all like these songs. Hell, I've been listening to them for the last decade. I'm like, based off of that little clip, Beyonce been sitting on these songs for a decade, not even to mention all the conversation that's come out around Renaissance, where I think even Dream was like, I don't know if he put a time frame on it, but I think he said something about a song he did with her, and it was so long ago.
And that's a great thing about songs. We pull a song from 10 years ago. Thick being one of them.
Thick?
Yeah.
How it was 10 years old?
Probably to the date, as we sit here.
And it was just sitting on a drive somewhere?
B is her own hard drive. She remembers things that I have no idea how she does it. I don't know. I don't know how she remembers every step on stage, the same way I don't remember how she remembers every song that she records or starts to cut or even listens to. She'll say, hey, send me the files for that record. Like, what record? I don't even know what she's talking about half the time. She has to remind me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that one.
And she like remembered she had been working on it and called him to get it cleared. And he was like, I didn't remember when this was. That's how long ago it was. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just cycling through emotions and thoughts as it pertains to this book and having a release. And I think making it something in my mind that it doesn't need to be. And so I'm hoping that in the midst of life, because I got a lot of other stuff going on, I can find a way to dig myself out of this place that feels stagnant to me. Now, I will say another thing with us being our worst critic, I may not even look like this from the outside looking in. I may look like I got it all together. I'm just hitting these points and getting it done. Because perception is reality, and I'm perceiving myself this way, but you and whoever else may be like, oh, well, you look like you got it going on. So there's that. I don't know. I will say, though, another part of this is looking over my goals for 2024 and working on the smaller goals that gets me to my overarching goal. There is another project that kind of crept up that it's not just this like, oh, I got an idea, let me explore this for a little bit, give myself time to deal with it and then move on. Like, this has legs. And I'm like working on both simultaneously, the first book in the duet series, the second book in the duet series, and then also this other book that's like, right now I don't have any intentions on it coming out in 2024, but like it's right there, and I'm dealing with that as well. And they're all in varying stages of completion. And I don't know. I think this is just, I don't know, whatever. So this is a reminder that if you're dealing with some indecisiveness or trying to figure out what's what, and I don't know, ain't happy with something but happy with other things, just know that you are not alone, because I am dealing with this as well. These projects are wonderful. I'm happy. I'm having a good time with them, but they're also like, the reality of it is not always sunshine and rainbows. So, yeah, all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ryan Coleman, the love story architect. I like writing stories about Black folks in different situations, love, drama, anger, sadness, the mystical, paranormal, just all that good stuff. And so I'm here. So hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, IG. All links will be in the show notes. And you know, until next time, go and read something, write something, and come back and tell me. Rayne.
Just cruising the night, I'm grooving. Thought you said you was my type, I'm moving too slow. Text back like shit, I'm cool with it. I can match energies, babe, I'm moving your
Some throughout the time, check my notifications. It wasn't love we was prepping for, but was something adjacent.